Hey, what's up? Kevlin here. I have Mist with me. There's a lot of fun things about good old Fire Emblem. Lots of great games, music, gameplay, stories, and of course, characters. There's hundreds of characters ranging from original characters, crossovers, spin-offs, and app games, and alts. And alts for the app characters. Now, I've done a top 10 Fire Emblem characters, so today I'm going to go over my personal least favorite characters. They could be on this list for any number of reasons and from any game. I will probably factor in any game that they've been in, though I don't think there will be many traditional, bad guys on this list. That'd be too straightforward and it wouldn't be much fun, though they could probably have their own list. Before we get started with the reason you guys came, this is the internet. These are just based on my experiences and opinions. Things may change. Possible spoilers for any media involved. This isn't meant to offend anyone, and it's mostly made for fun. Unless you just came to see the snake, then they say hi. Number 10. I'm starting this list with my favorites of the least favorites, if that makes sense. Number 1 will be my least favorite. I don't know, you'll get it as I go along, I hope. Number 10 is Maribel from Fire Emblem Awakening. Maribel is a healer just like her friend Lissa and can become a mage later down the line. But how can she be worse at combat than Lissa? She gets captured early on and once rescued doesn't do much. Besides struggling with her on the battlefield, getting her leveled up, I held off for a hot minute. I just loathed every time she showed up off the battlefield. She acts all prim and proper, but is extremely forceful. Maribel will push her ideals and opinions on you and criticizes almost everything. I don't know why she's here. I can't really name any redeeming qualities about her. We do get Brady from her, but that's not really a quality of hers, so there's really not much to say. Maribel makes me think of Miranda and her mannerism and Perry when she gets in a huff. Not like the murderous side, but the kind of pouty and whiny part. Moving on. Number 9, Niles from Fire Emblem Fates. Besides being awful at combat, he didn't do much for me. Not a very good archer, only one useful skill, and honestly, I just don't vibe with the borderline implications of his character. All he ever talks about is being a thief, Leo, or things you probably couldn't say at a church. Niles is secretive, sly, sneaky. Well, maybe not that sly and sneaky. Even after his fellow looters ditched him, Niles was still caught. He had some crappy friends. At least he has better ones. His backstory and his chosen loyalty to Leo is what puts him here and not lower. There's a lot to unpack, and when he's being genuine and not messing with people for fun, he can be more than that. While I don't really like the seductive manner he tries to take with people, I appreciate he isn't being fake and can be more honest with Leo and his new allies. I actually think Niles' backstory would be a really cool, DLC or a small manga or something, but anyways. Number 8, Monica from the Fodlan series. While Monica didn't play much of a role in Fire Emblem Three Houses besides a corpse, she had more of a role in Fire Emblem Three Hopes. Monica is trapped by those who slither in the dark and freed by Shez and then goes to rejoin the Black Eagle's house. Monica is okay in combat, but her standard weapons and skills aren't great. She's a lot better in Fire Emblem Heroes. I struggled to use her in Three Hopes, but once I found a good weapon and a set of skills to help out, she was decent. Like I said, she's a lot more functional in Heroes. Monica's combat isn't really the issue, though. It's her one-track mind of Edelgard that's the issue. She's also competitive and can't take criticism. I've mentioned it before, depending which videos of mine you've seen, that I don't really like the characters that can't think for themselves. Monica is close to that line, but at least she chose to go back to the Black Eagles and got to know Edelgard on her own accord. On Edelgard's route in Three Hopes, she actually plays a role in saving Monica, who probably would have ended up with the same fate as Three Houses Monica. So there's a reason for Monica to follow Edelgard. I just wish she was a bit nicer about it.
Ugh, I have no interest in your opinion. I want to know
Wow, alright, somebody's a little bit rude. Every conversation with Shez and Monica was like, oh boy, what's gonna trigger her now?
Oh, I don't know. She probably said something nice, but I wasn't really paying attention.
And you didn't even have the decency to watch her eat it? Honestly, what What is wrong with you?
I'm not a stalker. So between her and Hubert, the cycle just never ended. They were always at each other's throats, and that's why I forced them to do chores together so I wouldn't have to deal with either of them.
Oh no, silly me. My scissors must have slipped while I was working on this. It's just that one of these things doesn't belong.
Number 7, Ileana from Ike's Games or whatever. Ileana is mostly found either with her merchant friends or face down on the ground from low blood sugar or something. In every game she's in, I've struggled to keep this girl alive. In Radiant Dawn, I lost her immediately. I reset a few times and then realized it just ain't worth it. In Heroes, I constantly get her. Besides a few skills to fodder off, I usually just send her home. She almost did less for me in Heroes than she did in Ike's Games. She's just meh. Ileana's also just kind of boring. Almost all of her conversations are about being hungry or needing something. I couldn't rank her lower because of just being hungry, but that's all she really has to her. Ileana isn't that great in battle and doesn't have many redeeming qualities off the battlefield. She would fit very well into the world of one-note characters of Engage. Number 6, Mirabilis from Fire Emblem Heroes. Mirabilis is one of the Dream Fairies featured in Book 4. She's similar to her friend Peony, but along with giving allies another turn, she can also use a sword. Or I say she could use a sword if she was ever awake. Mirabilis is always sleeping. How can you be tired in a world of dreams? It's like a time traveler not having enough time. It's like KFC having too much chicken. What do you mean you're tired? You can sleep later. Your whole world is in danger of imploding. Get off your butt and move. Fairy Girl falls asleep mid-sentence. Not even that. She falls asleep mid-direction. She falls asleep when she's walking or flying. Why does this character exist? At least Mitama has her weird parents and her poems going for her. At least Linhardt is a good healer and is somewhat funny. Every time I see Mirabilis, I just look at her like how I look at homework. Besides a few moments with Peony, there's not much to Mirabilis. How can you be tired if you're practically immortal?
Good question.
Number 5, Hilda from the Fodlan series. I know I can hear a lot of you right now, but hear me out. Hilda is from one of the noble families in the Alliance. Her brother Holst is next up to inherit the house, so Hilda does nothing. She's lazy. I put her here at the halfway point because I can't stand her, but at the same time, she's not an inherently bad I don't really know how to phrase it. Let me just try to break this down. She's lazy, picks favorites, and can do more than she lets on, though I also know that a lot of other players have had excellent luck with her. I can see how she could be a good unit in combat, but with my playstyle and her slow start in 3 houses, I just couldn't. I tried not to let other people's opinions sway me too much, but For those few favorites Hilda has, like her brother, no matter how helicopter parentish she can be, she has a good relation with him and will help him out once in a while. She also will help out fan favorite Marianne with things like organization. Hilda will also stand in for Lorenz when he's not available to help out Claude. I just wish she'd help out a little more and not try to avidly worm her way out of things while she's in the middle of them. The world is on fire and you're on the front lines. Do something.
Here, use this!
Number 4 is Faye from Fire Emblem Echoes. Faye grew up with Alm, Celica, and the others. She developed an early crush. I wouldn't even say that. I call it an obsession. She developed an early obsession with Alm and basically stalks him like how Ivy and Chloe from Engage stalk Pepsi Dragon.
Daddy.
The weird thing is that Faye doesn't automatically join Alm when he leaves their home village. She can just sit there with her thumbs up her nose and do nothing. You'd think she'd be the first to volunteer as tribute.
I volunteer as tribute!
Whether you recruit her and send her off with Alm or wait till Celica comes around again, Faye is a decent soldier. I've played Echoes a few times and had her as a mage, a Pegasus rider, and an archer. She's a quick learner and can be a good fighter once nudged in the right direction. So being able to be on either side of the Echo story is a plus, and it's also good that she's open to learn whatever is just put in front of her, and that's what stops her from being lower on the list. What puts her here, though, is after Echoes. Faye goes back to the village and gets married to someone who isn't
Huh?
I'm fine however things play out, but she vanishes for days at a time. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but, like, does that not concern anyone else in the village? Why is no one keeping tabs on her? What is going on? Number 3 is Lorenz from the Fodlan series. Lorenz is a noble from the Alliance like Hilda, but unlike her, this guy will let you know he's a noble, and if you don't respect that and stay in your peasant class, he will get up in your business and give you a backhanded compliment and then strut around like a peacock. A very annoying peacock. Or maybe like my neighbor's rooster. That's also very annoying. I wonder if rooster nuggets taste the same as chicken nuggets. Not only is Lorenz all self-righteous during downtime, he's also like this when he's going into battle. This wouldn't be an issue if he was any good at fighting. I lost this guy in battle so many times just to make sure he got credit for his efforts. I had to drag his body across the finish line in a body bag. I'm just gonna tell you right now that it isn't worth it if he doesn't fit your playstyle. I can't believe his dad trusted his house to him. Why? That seems like such a poor move. That's like turning on your left blinker and turning right. Number 2 is Zephyia from Fire Emblem Engage. Zephyia is a mage dragon who follows the fell dragon Sombron. Zephyia and her group, the Four Hounds, do most of the dirty work for Sombron, and she jumps at the chance to unleash her pack on the unsuspecting. She's cold, heartless, and cruel. She manipulates some of her group and goes to extremes, banishing or even killing them for thinking on their own. Zephyia also goes over the top and hardcore abuses one of Sombron's remaining kids, Vale.
You filthy defect!
She does this so she can get attention from Sombron, who she has a crush on or something. Why? Zephyia longed to feel like she belonged and was understood after her village expired like a corn cob left under a car seat. So she does the opposite? She sides with a dark, abusive, and self-centered dragon and follows his actions of abuse and abandonment. I know there are some people and aspects of life that follow this pattern, but right now I'm talking about a video game. I am not a professional on the human brain, or dragon brains, but Zephyia was also supposed to be fan service, and maybe I'm not the target audience here, but seeing her outfit, or lack thereof, I just got confused. What part of this is outfit versus birthmarks or dragon markings? Some of the ribbons and danglies move, but the other parts don't? Also, if she's a mage dragon, why can't she transform? Why can only like 2% of the dragons actually be dragons in this game? I don't know. This game confuses me, and Zephyia does not help. The only help she offers is near her death, which was almost too little, too late. Before you find out who my least favorite Fire Emblem character is, let's name a few dishonorable mentions. Hannah. She's rude, competitive, and protective without having the bite to back up the bark. She just comes at Korn with little to no logic or explanation. She doesn't hear out Korn or anything. Or anyone, like Sakura, Azura, anyone. She just goes at him. Like, why? She also just sucks at her job. Azama sucks at his job and doesn't care about anything, and not in the same way like Navarre or Happy. Azama just doesn't care, and I had to drag his body over the finish line to get him to level up and find an S support. It's not worth it. Unless you really like Mitama, it's not worth it. Next up is Chloe. She's a stalker, not so much as in like Tharja, but like, it's just unsettling. What do you mean she watches you when you sleep? She also just jumps to conclusions, mostly in love for fairy tale romances, and she's just kind of a slow start. I had a lot of trouble with her in my playthroughs of Engage, so she's not pleasant on or off the battlefield, and also...
So, what can I get for you?
It's roasted snake meat between 2 buns. They call it a snake sandwich.
Number 1 is Tharja from Fire Emblem Awakening. Tharja is a dark mage you can recruit and bring along with you. But I think she'd follow you whether you invited her or not. Tharja is a hardcore stalker, even more so than Faye. She has some odd obsession with the player's character Robin. This mage will cast spells, hexes, and other things to try to get Robin to notice her. She's creepy and cruel, which in a character I don't mind, like the Death Knight, but there's just some line that Tharja crossed that I can't put my finger on. I don't know, maybe it's that she cursed her own daughter? Tharja cursed her own daughter, Nori, so now she's stuck as an emotional mess who fears her mom. Which is just sad, since all she wants to do is spend time with her mom and get to know her, and in the rare times we see them cross paths and both of them are alive, Tharja is either manipulating or ignoring her. Tharja does not care about her or whatever happens. Even if Robin marries Tharja, that isn't enough. She follows you into Fates. It may not be as parallel as Severa and her world-hopping trio, but she's still there. In Fates, you get a second-generation character named Rajat, who does the same creepy things with Robin's equivalent Korner. She practices her dark magic in her deep realm of solitude using the undead and monsters from their world, like the Faceless. Why does Tharja follow the player around? What did we do? I don't know. What didn't we do? I don't know. Does Nori deserve it? No. Do I want to see another Tharja/Rajat all in Heroes? Also, no. She's not good in combat, and she's not any fun off the battlefield. I don't get it. So I'm sure I just triggered like half of you, or those people might not have stuck around. Anywho, I'm glad you made it this far, so thank you. Let me know who your least favorite Fire Emblem characters are, and Mist and I hope to catch you next time. So looking back on this list, because I wrote this script back around Valentine's Day of 2025, I still don't like these characters, but again, I feel like the villains could have their own list. But there's also, like, villains, like, they're bad at being bad guys. Like, they're just, either they're not good at trying to achieve their goal, maybe they're just too, like, I don't know, they're not serious enough, or they're just kind of, like, not even a B plot, a C plot character. And then there's bad guys that are good at being bad, like they're actually, like, people enjoy seeing them, they're threatening, they're menacing, they might even achieve their goals. So I didn't put too many of them on there. Most of these characters I'm just so tired of seeing in Heroes, and it's not even for some of the alts, it's just how often I summon them and there's not much I can do with them. But anyways, thank you again for watching. It feels like it's been a while since I've done one of these. Hopefully I can start doing more, but whenever that time's yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Mist, she really likes the sweater pocket.